In today's news, Flemming House crowned ESHS Inter-House champions, winning by a massive 130 points. Governor Rankin issues a statement on the Ukraine war and the BVI. What should we be paying attention to? Agriculture was neglected under the NDP, says opposition leaders should be ashamed to comment on subject. That is the words of the Honorable Dr. Natalio Wheatley. And the U.S. bans all imports of Russian oil and gas prices expected to spike. In addition to that, Trinidad and Tobago government to launch a COI to investigate the recent deaths of 4 divers. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hustle. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome everybody. It's Thursday, March 10th, 2022. A terrific Thursday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola, Virgin Islands. Of course, my home, my paradise. A happy Thursday to one and all. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning on a very exciting local scene, Flemming House are the champions of this year's Elmore Stout High School Inter-School House Championship after winning by a whopping 130 points to dethrone the defeating champion Lettsome House. Our Kamal Haynes was there to report on the sports championship. Take a look.
Also referred to as House 3, Flemming House was crowned the winning house after amassing a total of 947 points. Second place went to O'Neill House with 817 points, while Carlisle House and Lettsome House took third and fourth place respectively with 796 and 746 points. Well, the Victress Lodorum title was shared between Kenyatta Grade of Flemming House and Akila McMaster of Lettsome House, while the Victor Lodorum went to Kaiba Dawson of O'Neill House, while each person amassed a total of 50 individual points. Well, Grade won the 3,000, the 1,500 and the 800 meter run, as well as the 400 and the 200 meter races, which also saw her winning the 18 plus division title. But McMaster won the 1,500 meter run and the 200 and 400 meter races, as well as the high jump and long jump events. She was also crowned the 17 and under division champion. But also enjoying a clean sweep of victories was Dawson, who won both the 100 and 200 meter sprints, as well as the high jump, the long jump, and the triple jump events. Where Dawson set new records in the 200 meter and a long jump event, which also saw him qualifying for the Carifta Games and the World Junior Games in those events. In the 200 meter, Dawson ran a time of 21.16 seconds, breaking the previous record of 22.04, which was set by Jamal Alexander. In the long jump event, Dawson broke the 35-year-old record of 7.11 meters, which was set by William Archer in 1987 with a leap of 7.26 meters. But Dawson was also crowned the 18 plus division champion. Well, let's take a look at those historic events by Dawson.
The green break. Tyler Dawson was out by the back. Dawson on the back stretch is looking great. Dawson is looking good. Here he comes. It looks like a ball Dawson. Looking like a ball Dawson. Ball Dawson. Oh, that looks big. That looks huge.
Well, following that historic long jump, I got the opportunity to speak to Dawson, and here's what he had to say.
It's a humbling feeling, but I know I can do better. But I feel good about the jump and my technique during it.
And coming on to this day, did you was that your plan to basically try to break this record, or was it just to win the event? Talk to me about that as well.
It was just to win the event. After my first jump is when I first heard about the record that I can break.
And so what was the first jump in terms of that would have basically give you that push to go after the record? Talk about that first jump. Talk about what you jumped, and also talk about what motivated you then to do the 7.26 that you just did just now.
Well, on the first jump, I didn't hit the board. It was 7.06, and I got height and I had the speed but missed the board. And then when they said it on the mic, it motivated me to go and try to beat the record.
And to jump such a magnificent jump, what did it take? Is there a particular technique? What did it take? Walk me back through that process, leading up to that leap in the air. Basically, did you know when you was in the air that you had that jump, and that you had the record at that particular point?
Yes, as soon as I landed, I know I had it. It just was me focusing on what I did in practice and keeping my head on.
Well, prior to the announcement of the new champions, Flemming House, I spoke to house leaders Miss Sammy and Miss Bianca Dugan, who expressed immense confidence as their side was leading at the time.
Well, to be honest, when it comes to track and field, it's a team sport. So I would say our athletes coming out, every last one of them, and our children who are not even athletes coming out, they are the one who made the difference. So I wouldn't particularly say one person, because one person cannot win sports, and it's evident right now.
What about you, Miss Sammy?
I say it's about teamwork and cooperation and support from the parents as well as the coaches.
And the teachers.
Tremendous support. We have a network of support incomparable with any other house.
And you're presently in the lead right now by a little margin. Do you expect to keep that lead throughout the rest of the day?
Certainly.
Definitely.
We don't work for second. We always want to come out on top, regardless of all the naysayers.
I concur.
So the plan is to dethrone Lexham House, right?
Of course, yes.
It's not about dethroning. It's about participating and coming out on top.
I also caught up with Meet Director Mr. Rennie Phipps, who spoke on the success of hosting the Sports Day on its 50th anniversary, a huge milestone.
The planning is somewhat delicate. There's a lot of moving parts when we're planning something of this magnitude, but it's the people that you work with, they make it easy. So I must give congratulations to the people that bring it together, and I think it's a wonderful day. We have had 2 days now and it's been going really well. And this year is our 50th anniversary, and if you're doing anything for 50 years, it's a big deal. So we really wanted to make it a big deal and come on and put on a spectacle.
I know obviously you said it's the 50th anniversary, meaning you said you wanted to do it big. Speak to us some of the planning per se that would have gone into this particular 50th anniversary, and some of the new additions that you probably would have implemented just to make it a little bit better for the 50th anniversary.
So one of the first things we did, we had to reach out to persons who were instrumental in bringing this together. So we were talking about folks like Miss Forbes, Miss Theodore Forbes, Mr. Wilson Potter, Mr. Ray O'Neill, Ephraim Penn, Miss Bernard, folks like that who has done it before me. And so I'm only taking on that tradition and that baton and trying to run with it. So we had to celebrate those persons in bringing this whole thing together.
Well, also present during the championships was president of the BVI Athletics Association, Mr. Steve Augustine. He said he was impressed with the crop of talent displayed over the 2 days.
The 2 days, based on what I've seen so far, it simply means that athletics in the BVI is healthy and strong. The 50th anniversary of the in-house sports at Elmo Stout High School has been nothing other than, spectacular. All the events, these athletes are coming out, they're performing well. Records are being broken. We saw the record being broken in the long jump event by Kyber Dawson, 720 something 7.2 something meters in the long jump event. That was totally awesome. 7:26, I do believe. He just came back again in the 200 meter run, 21.16, breaking another record yet again at the Elmo Stout High School Sports. Also secured himself a Carifta Games qualifier. Also secured himself a World Junior qualifier. So that's awesome. We saw some awesome running yesterday by all the athletes. 10-8 again for Dawson in the 100 meter run. Aria Smith looking really well. Those 200 meter runs across the board, they were all definitely spectacular events to watch and witness.
And I would have just heard you guys just speaking about, the BVA actually may have a great 4x1 team, whether it be for the World Juniors or Carifta going forward, with the crop of talent we would have seen over the last 2 days.
Well, the truth is, we're taking it step by step. Our athletes, they come out with the clubs in the afternoon and they're training. There's many different clubs out there. Top Notch Track Club, Sprint Tech Track Club, Fast Lane Track Club. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Roskills Track Club. Across the board, all those clubs are definitely taking these athletes to a different level, a higher level. And that's the level we need to be at if we're going to go to the Carifta Games. We're going to contest those events against some of the bigger countries. But the BVA, we're definitely going to hold our own. We're already looking good on paper. We have Ray O'Neill. I sat with him a few days ago, just going through the rankings to see where our athletes rank going into the meet. And I think we're looking really good. And after the performances here at the Elmo Stout High School Sports Day, 50th Anniversary Sports, we're starting to look even better because those rankings, the first and second rank is going into some of the events. We've had some really good performances here. That's going to bump some of our athletes up just a bit going into that event. And I definitely want to go to the Carifta Games with a big team, a strong team, and I definitely want to come back. I joke a lot with my friend Gart Gale, who's the president of the Jamaica 3As, and I told him, we're definitely going to go to Jamaica and we're going to try to bring some jewelry back, if you know what I mean, medals, back to the BVI. So our team is shaping up. We've got a lot of qualifiers thus far. We got a lot of people on the bubble. We're going to sit and as an association, we're going to look at those who are close to qualifying because I do believe we're going to give some additional persons a chance to make that team.
Well, you heard it, viewers, here at the Elmo Stout High School Inter-House competition. I'm Kamal Haynes on behalf of 284. Thank you for joining us, and until next time.
An absolutely two-day exciting event. We want to take this opportunity on behalf of the entire 284 media team to wish congratulations to the Flemming House. Of course, in addition to them, all the student athletes as well as teachers who did an exceptional job in really making the two-day event a huge success. Continue to work hard and succeed on the sporting arena. Moving along, viewers, Deputy Premier and Minister for Agriculture, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley has called out the opposition leader and his National Democratic Party for allegedly neglecting agriculture in the territory during their last 2 terms in office. The Deputy Premier's comments came in response to criticisms made by Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Marlon A. Penn, during the airing of a National Democratic Party radio program last evening. Now, Penn accused the Andrew Foy-led administration of essentially abandoning the redevelopment plans for the Market Square project and of neglecting farmers and fisherfolk across the BVI. In response to those comments, which were raised by a caller during the VIP Let's Talk radio program on Tuesday, March 8, Dr. the Honorable Wheatley called out Penn for the comments, stating that he would be ashamed if he were Penn to speak on the subject of agriculture or sewage in the territory.
If I'm honest with you, Carla, sometimes I wonder when I hear some of the issues that they discuss, whether there's no embarrassment or shame. We could take a look at the sewage issue. In my view, if I was in the member for the opposition, or leader of the opposition's position, I wouldn't let the word sewage come out of my mouth at all. I would not mention it at all. I would be too embarrassed. I would run and hide every time I heard the word sewage, because they actually took the $8 million and put it into the pay pack. So, and then it's the same thing with agriculture.
Viewers, the Honorable Minister, Dr. Wheatley, also listed a few examples of what he called agriculture being neglected under the NDP administration. These included the abandoning of the greenhouse, which the minister said was valued at some $6 million, and the ceasing of the many agricultural events such as the agriculture exhibition and the Farmers Day on Beef Island, which Dr. Wheatley said stopped prior to the hurricanes of 2017.
I think you said it correctly. We had greenhouses. We had some greenhouses. Whether you agree or disagree with the greenhouses, the late great Omar Wallace Hodge gave you greenhouses, and the greenhouses sat there, and they sat there, and they sat there. It have to be for a good 6 years, and the hurricanes just took them out. I think a good $6 million just down the drain. And then outside of those greenhouses, nothing happened in agriculture for the whole time. And then you had none of these challenges that we met there were solved. I didn't see any attempt to solve them. And way before the hurricanes, the agricultural exhibition was stopped.
Of course.
Almost like it was a waste of money, right? And then the Fisherman's Day at Beef Island was stopped way before the storms. And then the hurricanes came, and when they were giving out assistance, it was actually said that the fishermen and the farmers were of the lowest priority. So if I were members of the opposition, I would be afraid, I would be embarrassed and ashamed to criticize anything to do with agriculture. In fact, we're going to the House of Assembly on Thursday, and we're going to be passing a bill that's over about 143 pages, and it's going to revolutionize agriculture.
The Honorable Natalio Wheatley also further said that under the VIP administration, great efforts have been placed in revitalizing the agriculture industry in the British Virgin Islands. These, he said, range from the legislative introductions and improvements to ongoing projects such as new poultry initiative, which is expected to benefit many farmers within the territory. Viewers, up next, Governor His Excellency John Rankin issues a statement and an interview on the Ukraine war and what the BVI should be paying more attention to. All these and so much more when 284 News returns.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire, bring it home and upgrade today.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals. Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. With the Ukrainian war now in day 15, the entire world watches on as the number of lives continue to be lost due to the civil unrest. Governor of the Virgin Islands, His Excellency John Rankin, has been extremely vocal since the Russia and Ukrainian war began. Recently, he sat down with me to discuss the situation and what it means for the BVI. Take a look.
It's a dreadful situation. Russia is assaulting a peaceful, democratic country. Troops have come in from the north, the west and the south, going to cities, bombing civilians and cutting off supplies to the Ukrainian people. The latest news today is that a maternity ward and a children's ward in a hospital in Mariupol has been hit by a Russian strike, and there could be no excuse for that in any circumstance. So This is an attack on a peaceful democratic country posing no threat to Russia and the suffering we can all see for ourselves in the reporting which is on our television screens.
Now, viewers, Governor Rankin also provided an update on the Ukrainian student with BVI roots who was said to be in danger.
Sure. I've been vocal because of what Russia has done and is doing. It's a clear breach of the United Nations Charter, it's a clear breach of international law. And the international community has come together to condemn what has happened. But I'm also being vocal because I've got some idea of the effects it's having on people on the ground. And here in BVI, one BV Islander got in touch with the Governor's office. His daughter, a British citizen, was in Odessa in Ukraine in a very vulnerable position. I don't want to go into too many further personal details of the case, but I'm pleased to say that that individual has now managed to get out of Ukraine and is now in a safe third country. So we were glad to lend what assistance we could in that case. And I've also met members of the Ukrainian community here in the BVI to listen to their concerns and to discuss the situation with them. So it affects me as governor both because of the egregious breach of the standards by which any country should act, but also because of the effect it's having on ordinary people with whom we should all show our compassion and support. I think it's a small community, but that doesn't make it, of course, any the less important. And they are a community who have families in Ukraine and are deeply concerned about the situation. And so I think it was right for me as governor to meet with them and to show such solidarity as I can with them.
In addition, Rankin took the time to speak to sanctions and what the region could do to support the Ukraine people during this very difficult time.
The United Kingdom has joined with other countries in imposing sanctions, not against the Russian people as a whole, but against Putin, the oligarchs around him, and against the Russian banks. And those sanctions also apply in the Virgin Islands. And it's very important that our financial services sector plays its part, because we don't want BVI to be used as an escape route by those who are sanctioned to shift their money here and use it in breach of sanctions. And I know that the financial services industry here is clear that they need to play their part. What would be hugely damaging to BVI if we weren't to play our part in effective enforcement of those sanctions. And of course, we've also banned Russian aircraft from flying through our airspace, and I expect similar action to be taken in relation to use of our waters in due course as well. So that affects people in BVI, and I know that there is a determination to comply and enforce those sanctions. And I hope that people in BVI can also, through their compassion and support, if they do know members of the Ukrainian community here or other nationals who may be affected by what has happened, to show their compassion and support for them, as I know BVI Islanders do in other circumstances, so I'm sure they'll do so in the situation that are faced now by people in Ukraine.
That was His Excellency Governor John Rankin. Viewers, up next, U.S. bans all imports on Russian oil and gas. Prices are expected to spike. Governor John Rankin also speaks to that. And over in T&T, Trinidad and Tobago, that is, government to launch a COI to investigate the recent deaths of some 4 divers. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors.
You value traditions. Today. You value music. You value education. Family. I love you. Service. Thank you. You're welcome. Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Live stream cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Viewers, welcome back. Now on the international scene, United States President Joe Biden has banned all imports of oil, natural gas, and coal from Russia in response to the ongoing invasion of Ukraine. President Biden made the announcement on Tuesday, March 8, warning that the decision could lead to a spike in gas prices within the U.S. He said, and I quote, "Today I am announcing the United States is targeting the main issue of Russia's economy. We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy." He continued by saying that means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine. Now, initially, the decision to sanction Russia's oil and gas sector was viewed by officials in Europe and the U.S. as off the table, considering the implications it would have on the global oil prices. However, following increased pressure from Ukraine's president and lawmakers in the U.S. as Russian attacks continued on Ukraine's soil, President Biden decided to act and impose the sanctions. Now, America's European allies are yet to sanction Russia's oil and gas, as they have significantly more exposure than Russia's energy within the U.S. Now, recently, His Excellency Governor John Rankin, in an interview, also spoke to the gas prices that we are too expected to see here in the Virgin Islands.
The effects which otherwise will be felt in BVI will be effects that are felt across the world because of particularly the effect on oil and gas prices. And you know, we are a small territory in the Caribbean, but we're not immune from what's happening in terms of worldwide events. So we are going to be affected by that, and I can't pretend otherwise. I hope that the steps we are taking, even now, will make Putin turn back from what he has unleashed on the people of Ukraine, and that we can return to a peaceful situation. But so long as this continues, so the sanctions will continue, so the effect on oil and gas supplies will continue, and we can't be immune from that. As governor, of course, my job is to support the BVI, and I'll continue to support BVI as best I can, but I can't pretend that we will not be affected by this, as people around the world will be affected.
Viewers, we'll of course continue to pay a very close attention to that situation over on the international scene in Ukraine and how, of course, it will affect us. But until then, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily updates at 284media.com, and of course, like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. It is always a pleasure. I will see you tomorrow as I deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We are 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here in Tortola, Virgin Islands. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye. Brilliant Hands and Minds Tutoring Services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too, offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center, We are the trained education professionals.